volatility surrounding oil prices, you know, we saw obviously unprecedented volatility earlier this year when the oil price, the WTI, the West Texas Intermediate price, actually went negative momentarily. We've never seen spikes like this. That's the bad news. The good news is we are used to this. We, you know, in energy tubulars, there's always volatility, even if it's not with the oil price itself. It might be with coal prices or trade barriers or, you know, capacity issues, things of that nature. We are sort of in the business of managing volatility. So we embrace it. We obviously don't enjoy such a steep drop. Talking about volatility briefly, you know, the truth is we have been in a market decline for some time. The PipeLogix average of all ERW products has been on decline for 24 straight months now. So we were already facing challenges of lower pipe prices, coil prices that are hot rolled coil prices that are sometimes a bit challenging to deal with, especially when our end user customers are facing their own budget constraints with $40 oil and everything they're up against.
What's next? I mean, we all talk about, you know, the time being tough. Particularly for oil and gas, we all know that, you know, election is coming up. That is going to have an impact. We all believe that it is going to have an impact in the oil and gas market. Of course, the vaccination of COVID-19 will play a major role in order to start the regular transport and the fly of the passenger from point A to point B. Overall demand for oil and gas, all the indexes that I'm seeing are not so encouraging, but I want to be optimistic. If you look at average 2019 dollar per barrel was in the range of 64, which went to almost 30, 35, 36 in 2020. I believe that it will be in the range of $48 in 2021 and should be in the range of 56 in 2022. And of course, that kind of correlates to the gas pricing as well, that it was $3.8 in MMBTU in 2019, which went down all the way to $2, $1.9. In 2021, I suspect that it will be at $2.5, $2.6 MMBTU. And 2022, I'm hopeful that it goes about $3.
Key challenges facing ERW, steel tubes and pipes, especially from a Southern African and South African perspective, is our uncompetitive supply chain. Currently in our primary steel supply market, ArcelorMittal South Africa is the only manufacturer of hot rolled coil in South Africa, basically given it monopoly status. South Africa has some of the highest hot rolled coil prices relative to global average costs. Hot rolled coil in South Africa enjoys an 8% safeguard, while ERW steel tubes and pipes have no protection, and there isn't enough competitive transfer or competitive value transfer from the upstream to the downstream. What this has basically done is basically expose a lot of steel tube and pipe manufacturers to outside competition, where we've seen a lot of ERW tubes being imported, and this has basically led to the closure, downsizing, or divestment of several steel tube and pipe manufacturers in South Africa.
This is always the $1 million question, right? When will demand return? I mean, Mahir is an optimist. I like that about him. I didn't say that we wouldn't have any recovery in 2021. I said we wouldn't be able to be healthy and back to being profitable until late 2021 or 2022. So there's going to be some rebound. I think middle of next year we'll start to see better times. In the meantime, we're already seeing certain customers add rigs just on the stability of the $40 oil price. So there will be a slow recovery, and then hopefully much better times again in 2022.
Yeah, I think on my part, I'll also just be the optimist. You know, I think Mihir said that he hoped that, you know, I think the price of oil will reach, I think, $48. So I mean, if it gets there, then it's beyond break-even price. You know, then we should be seeing more green shoots, basically, in that environment. And I think we'd all like to see it going that way. You know, we'd all like to believe there's pent-up demand and it needs to be rolled out for the benefit of all our economies.
We're having a real run right now. They're making up for all the lost time in COVID. GM had the strike earlier in the year that depleted inventories. What we're seeing now, and it appears they're planning for a lockdown again. So they are building as many cars as they can, putting them in employee parking lots of all places. If the second wave doesn't come, I suspect they'll cut production in a hurry anyways, once they get their pipelines filled. But even today, some of the more popular trucks or SUVs are in tight supply, surprisingly. How long? I don't know.
So I believe that, you know, either Biden comes or Trump comes, that we may not see the impact immediately. If Biden comes in, Section 232 may convert into the quota for some of the countries. But overall, US, if you look at in 2019 and 2020 beginning, US is on the verge of getting next net exporter for the gas. So all the fracking happens, all the rig counts goes up. Gas will be required in Asian countries and the Middle East also. And US can be very competitive. So no matter which government comes in, I believe that there will be a demand for gas, and that should be a good momentum for oil and gas business overall.